Zibai and Columbina are both joining us in version 6.3 alongside major reruns like Ineffa and Neuvillette. So this is actually the perfect time to analyze how good Columbina really is compared to other supports, both for lunar and non-lunar DPS, and also to break down Zibai's value with and without Columbina. So let's get started. Columbina is an off-field damage dealer who can trigger lunar reactions by herself. This means you can pair her with units like Furina, Navia, and even Nahida, giving them direct access to lunar reactions and instantly making these teams much stronger, simply because lunar reactions are far more powerful than their normal reaction counterparts. But that's not everything. Columbina is also a very strong damage dealer on her own. This is extremely important because compared to units like Furina, her personal damage output is significantly higher. That alone already makes her a better choice than most existing Hydro supports. On top of that, she buffs lunar reactions in multiple ways. And now that older characters can also trigger lunar reactions just by having her in the team, she indirectly buffs them as well. So for players thinking that Columbina isn't good for older DPS characters, that's simply not true. In reality, she is often better than units like Furina or Yelan for a large number of older DPS characters, which is why she's shaping up to be the strongest Hydro unit in the game so far. We won't go too deep into her kit in this video, so if you want a full breakdown, make sure to check out the dedicated guide on screen. Now, let's talk about how good she actually is in practice. For example, DPS units like Clorind, who previously capped around 85,000 to 90,000 DPS in premium teams with Furina and Yelan, can now reach around 100 to 105,000 DPS when paired with Columbina and Ineffa. This makes Lunar Charge her new best-in-slot team. The same applies to units like Al-Haitam, older Hyperbloom teams, and most Geo, Electro, and Dendro carries, all thanks to the massive damage gap between normal reactions and lunar reactions. Before we go any further, quick reminder, you can win a free Welkin as part of our 9,000 subscribers special giveaway. All the details are in the description. And don't forget to check out Loot Bar as well. They're currently offering massive discounts and limited time deals on the active banners. Just use my link below to grab all the offers. Now, coming back to Columbina, even though she is undeniably one of the strongest supports we've ever seen, she does come with a few very important limitations that you need to understand before pulling. First, because Columbina is a lunar-focused damage dealer, she is completely useless in reactions like Melt and Freeze. Those reactions simply do not have a lunar variant, which means she provides zero reaction value there. Second, to truly unlock her full potential, you almost always need to run her in an Ascendant Gleam setup. Without Ascendant Gleam active, her damage falls off significantly, and she is no longer a strict upgrade over older Hydro supports. This is why Columbina almost always wants another strong nod-krai unit on the team. For example, if you want to run Columbina in Hyperbloom teams, you almost always pair her with Lauma or Ino to activate Ascendant Gleam consistently. Similarly, if you want to play her in Lunar Charge teams with DPS characters like Furina or Clorinda, you typically want another unit such as Ineffa, Ino. Without this setup, Columbina's damage and buffing capability drop enough that she stops being a clear upgrade. That said, this restriction also enables one of her biggest strengths. Because you are almost always running a second nod-krai unit anyway, Columbina can freely use her signature DPS artifact set coming in version 6.3, while the second nod-krai unit, such as Lauma in Hyperbloom or Ineffa in Lunar Charge, can hold the Silken Moon set. This results in extremely efficient artifact distribution and very high total team damage. Now, let's talk about her actual value for lunar DPS teams, and honestly, this is where Columbina becomes completely absurd. In Lunar teams, her value is insane. She performs extremely close to Ineffa in Flynn's teams, and the same applies to Nefer teams as well. In many cases, Columbina can function as a replacement for those premium supports. If you want Flynn's or Nefer to perform at their absolute peak, you still need both Columbina and their respective premium supports. Outside of support roles, you can also play Columbina as an on-field DPS in Bloom, Hyper Bloom, or Burgeon teams. However, to reach damage levels comparable to other meta teams, you almost always need Llama in those setups as well. So overall, Columbina is a very strong but somewhat restricted unit. She almost always wants another nod-krai character to unlock her maximum output. This design pattern isn't surprising. We've already seen similar restrictions with characters like Mavica and Skirk. Hoyoverse clearly likes designing these high-impact characters with conditional power ceilings. Now let's talk about Zibai. Unlike Flint's or Nefer, Zibai does not really have multiple premium supports. Outside of Columbina, she does not have a true top-tier partner, and this is both a good thing and a bad thing. On the positive side, if you want to maximize Zibai's damage, you really only need Columbina. You don't need to chase multiple 5-star supports to make her work. On the negative side, if you do not have Columbina, Zibai's damage drops off massively. Without Columbina, her performance falls into the same general range as Arlecchino or Neuvillette's best teams, which is significantly lower compared to current top-tier DPS characters. So if you are planning to pull Zibai, you should strongly consider pulling Columbina as well. Completing this duo is almost mandatory.
That said, Zibai herself is a very flexible DPS. She scales off both defense and elemental mastery, which gives her excellent synergy with a wide range of supports. She works well with Xiaolonen, Albedo, Goru, Zhongli, and most Hydra units. Her playstyle is also very straightforward and easy to execute, similar to Flynn's, making her extremely comfortable to play even in high-pressure content. With Columbina, Zibai can easily carry your account, and you will almost never struggle with geo-based content again. And most importantly, Zibai is currently the only character besides Columbina who can trigger Lunar Crystallize, giving older geo units access to Lunar Crystallize. So yes, Zibai's only real downside is that she needs Columbina. Outside of that, she is a very solid and well-designed DPS. If you want a full breakdown of her teams, rotations, and best setups, you can check out the dedicated video on screen. Now, coming to pull value. Columbina is effectively a flat damage increase of around 20,000 DPS for Lunar teams, and roughly 15 to 20,000 DPS even for non-Lunar teams when used in proper setups. That level of increase is massive. She buffs almost every DPS in the game, with the only real exceptions being traditional Melt and Freeze teams. Even then, you can still play her with Ineffa and Pyro DPS characters in Overvape setups, which keeps her value extremely high. This is why Columbina is, realistically, a must-pull unit for most accounts. Now, talking about Zibai, she is a very strong DPS, currently shaping up as the second strongest DPS in the game. However, she does require Columbina to reach that level. Without Columbina, Zibai is simply not worth pulling. And if you don't own any Lunar characters yet, instead of investing into full trios like Flynn's, Ineffa, and Columbina, or Nefer, Lauma, and Columbina, it's often better to directly pull Columbina and Zibai together. That duo is cheaper, easier to build, and in many cases performs even better than those larger setups. I hope this video helped clear things up, and if you're still confused about who to pull, make sure to check out the full pull priority video on screen. Till then,